Hiya! Welcome to Records Roundup number 44. So I've got 6 new albums. I say new, one of them is pre-owned, but new to me, obviously, to show you today. But only 3 different artists, as I've been building up a particular part of the collection, which we'll get on to in due course. Theoretically, I should be able to get through these relatively quickly, as 4 of the albums are by the same band, but there's lots of coloured and patterned vinyl to look at today, so I think this is going to be a fun one. And we'll start with some pickups from HMV online. So I availed of HMV's 3 for £55 vinyl deal. First time in a little while I've done that. In fact, have I ever done that? I've bought from HMV plenty of times, obviously. I want to say yes I have, and I must have at some point. Anyway, mainly for one album, which I think will be the 3rd one I'll show you. So I was looking for 2 other records that might fit my collection, or just anything that caught my eye that I wouldn't mind adding into the library here at Chez Jimbo. The one I decided that would be the second part of the 3 for £55 deal was the most recent Lightning Seeds album, See You in the Stars. So this is the first Lightning Seeds album I've bought in a long time. I have all their mini disc albums, and there's a couple of others that didn't come out on mini disc earlier than that, in the late 80s, early 90s. That I haven't picked up yet. I wouldn't mind, because it'll be a relatively easy collection to finish, really, the Lightning Seeds. But as this was part of the deal on HMV's site, I thought I'd buy See You in the Stars. So I've not listened to any of this, so I can't say how it ranks with kind of peak Lightning Seeds from the mid to late 90s, who were just a great indie pop band. Ian Browdy, of course, is the man behind Lightning Seeds. Catchy tunes and that, and I think they also might have done a football song at some point, but I don't know. That's just a rumour I heard. I'll get this one open and show you, because this one is apparently on limited edition Midnight Blue Smoky Vinyl. So this should look rather attractive. So with it being 3 for £55 on selected vinyl albums at HMV, these all, although there were different prices listed separately on the site, in the promotional thing, and they've always got some sort of 3 for £55 deal going on at HMV. I just think they alternate what choices you get every so often, but these will work out, what, £17–18 each, which I don't think's too bad, really. Have we got the shrink open? There's your inner, bit boring and bland. Has got some lyrics on it though, so if you're a fan of following lyrics when listening to an album, then that'll do you. And here it is. Oh, that's really nice. That probably looks a little bit dark on camera. I don't think it's meant to quite look like a navy blue, but it's sort of a blue with black swirls, really. That's very nice indeed, that. Looking forward to hearing some Lightning Seeds again for the first time in a long time, because I've not listened to my Lightning Seeds albums in quite a while. You know what it's like when you've got an ever-expanding record collection. The more you get, the less chance you have to listen to what you've already got. So it's a kind of catch-22, really. But anyway, this came out last year, I believe, and I think it did okay in the chart, actually. Better than their previous album, which was 4 Winds, which I haven't got. And I don't even know if that's out on vinyl. I will double check, but I've got a feeling it's not. Anyway, See You in the Stars from Ian Browdy's Lightning Seeds.
When the world conspires to paint you blue, and you need a friend to say get on board, this world's a big balloon. But there's nothing you can do. You heard the tune, but the song, it's ended too soon. And tears, they flow, they're rolling down. Even though I hope I'll see you in the stars, I'll see you in the stars. So they say that life's a piece of pie. Here's mud in your eye.
We move on to an act who I've been a fan of for many, many years. I had one of their greatest hits compilations on cassette in the 90s, and it was possibly one of the albums of that era I played the most. I hammered it on my Walkman and my parents' stereo, and then my own stereo cassette CD player. But amazingly, this is the first album of theirs I've got into my collection on vinyl, and it's the first thing by them of any sort that I've got in my collection now, because I got rid of the tape that was rather divine, there's a clue, many, many years ago, and I just never got around to replacing it. I've been looking for the mini disc of that, but I've just got no chance, basically. Anyway, this was part of the £355 deal at HMV. And I thought, you know what, I like this band, I'm a fan, so it's a bit shameful I've not got any of their albums in my collection right now. So I've remedied that today with the debut album from Madness, One Step Beyond. So of course this is a reissued and presumably remastered edition. Their debut album came out in 1979. It's weird, I always associate Madness with the 1980s. To me, they're just like typical 80s, but I often forget that they actually started releasing stuff in the late 70s, 79. I don't think they had anything chart in 78, but this was definitely 79 when this came out. So One Step Beyond, of course, it's got the title track that was a single, My Girl, Nightboats, Cairo, which I think they released as part of an EP. The Prince, which I believe was a single as well. That might have been their first single that didn't do massively well. And plenty of stuff on here that I haven't heard. Oh, one track I have heard, I remember, because my dad must have taped it off probably John Peel or Annie Nightingale in the 80s on Radio 1. Bed and Breakfast Man, which is track 2 on side B. Brilliant song that, for years, because my dad used to play it a lot on a radio compilation. I assumed it was a Madness single, and I think it was in certain countries, but it never came out as a single in the UK, which is strange because it's brilliant. So that is something I'm familiar with, other than the singles I've already mentioned. I think this is on coloured vinyl. It doesn't give a clue on the hype, I don't think. It does have a little hype sticker there, I can't read that, it's too small. But we'll get it open and double check. So Madness are a group who, particularly now after buying One Step Beyond, I'm very tempted to go all in on. They've released a lot of albums, and you know, they kind of stopped in the mid-80s. They got back together initially as a touring act in the 1990s, and then late 90s they brought out Wonderful, which was their first album in quite some years, and since the 2000s they've been a fairly regularly album releasing act, and I know some of their more recent work has been getting great reviews from people in the vinyl community. A lot of channels that I watch do collect Madness and all the reissues that they put out, and I'm pretty tempted to do it myself, even though for some reason it's just taken me this long to even get one of their studio albums. The only other Madness album, as I said earlier, that I've owned was Divine Madness, which was a big selling compilation in the 1990s. I had that on cassette for many years. Why am I struggling to get this out? There we are. Oh, that's a nice inner. So I'm just laughing at this side that is not to camera. I'll turn it round because it's of someone's bum. Wonderful stuff. So let's see if I was right about this being on coloured vinyl. Yes, I was. And apparently the colour of this is classed as cherry red. So yeah, just a kind of nice, slightly darkened red, I would say. This inner feels quite thin actually. It feels like sort of something that's more old school. It feels like slightly thinner kind of paper or cardstock than what you'd get now, but that's not a complaint. If anything, it kind of makes it feel a little more authentic, that it's something that did come out in the late 70s, early 80s, even though it didn't. This is a reissue from, it says on screen, but I'm trying to think of it, and it's possibly 2016 or something like that. Their first album, good place to start. Obviously you may see more Madness on the channel at some point. I've not decided if and when I'm gonna go all in on them, because I've really focused in this particular edition of Records Roundup on another band I've been collecting a lot of, and I am now starting to fill the rest of the holes there. But I think, you know, I'm going to enjoy this, even if it's the only Madness album I have in my collection for a while at least. The excellent Nutty Boys, One Step Beyond.
My girl's met wanna see the film tonight? I found it hard to say. She thought I'd had enough of her. Why can't she see? She's lovely to me, but I like to stay in and watch TV on my own every now and then. My girl's mad at me. Been on the telephone for an hour. We hardly said a word.
Right then, so all the rest of these records are from the one band, but they're all, I think, apart from a male opening to do at the end where both are on same or similar coloured vinyl. All of these are on different coloured discs, so we've still got plenty to look at, aesthetically speaking. As you know, I've been a big Suede collector recently, but I was mainly focusing on all the stuff from Suede up to and including their breakup, so from 92, 93 when they first started or first got big, up till 2002 I think it was when they broke up. I do want a full Suede collection, if at all possible, on vinyl, apart from Head Music, an album I've got on mini disc, and I've also got Electricity, a mini disc single. But other than that, I want everything on vinyl, so eventually, inevitably, I had to get their most recent studio album, Auto Fiction. I've not heard a single thing off here. I think it's had good reviews. This was the one that I really wanted. I've been umming and ahhing about this on HMV's site particularly, and it's available plenty other places, but HMV, when you add two others for the deal, this makes it well under £20, and for coloured vinyl, I think that's a decent price. So this is classed as the Bricks and Mortar Grey edition. It includes She Still Leads Me On, which I'm assuming was a single, what if you can call stuff that's released digitally or on streaming singles. Let's get it open and have a look. So I can't really speak on this. There will be Suede records to show you in a little while that I will be able to give a little bit of a pre-opinion on. This album, was this last year as well? This came out? I think it probably was. I think it's just one disc. Very minimal inner sleeve. And there we go, grey disc there. So we've seen all the colours of the rainbow, except that you don't get grey on a rainbow. But we've seen a lot of different colours relating to records today, and there's still more to come as well. Nice, very nice Auto Fiction there from Suede. So that's the end of the HMV 3 for £55 pickups. But as I said, once I decided I was definitely buying Auto Fiction, I wanted to start filling other Suede holes, and there's still 3 more studio albums in between the 2002 one, I've forgotten the name of it, but I've got it, and when they reformed after 2010. And here's one that was relatively easy to get. I was pleased to get this on eBay, as it seemed a lot cheaper than on Discogs, and for this particular edition it was hard to find at my usual record store websites as well. I'm talking about The Blue Hour. So this is the album that came out before Auto Fiction by 2 or 3 years, and the hype on it says it's limited edition blue vinyl. The standard black vinyl edition is pretty commonplace. It's not massively cheap, but it is a 2-disc album, hence the slightly bigger price really. But I was happy that I was able to find the blue vinyl edition, which seems to be a lot rarer and more expensive on the aftermarket. Was it an auction that I got this? I think it was an auction I won on eBay. Or was it just a buy it now? No, it was a buy it now, I think. I do use eBay quite regularly, as you know, so it's easy to forget what exactly the transaction was. So it's a gatefold album this. It was pre-owned, I think only been listened to once. Immaculate condition as far as I can tell. There's a look at the gatefold. I've put it in one of my gatefold protectors as well. And it's a 2-disc set, but both discs are the same colour. So I'll just get one out to show you. There's one of the inners as well. As with Auto Fiction, not heard anything on here, so going in blind, but I've been really loving Suede and their classic 1990s to early 2000s stuff recently, so I really had to go all in on the collection rather than just stop at the point where they split up for the first time. So here we are. Unsurprisingly, it's a blue disc, not navy blue, aquamarine. No, that's not it. That's like turquoise. Think your favourite synonym for blue, and there we go. It's been a long day, I can't think. So I'm really excited. That's just 2 Suede albums, studio albums I should say, left on vinyl that I need to get now. One of them I think will be relatively easy to pick up. The other one, not so much, because it's quite rare, because it came out kind of before the vinyl revival really started taking hold. Copies are going for a lot on the aftermarket, but we'll see. I'm going to keep a lookout, so hopefully you'll be seeing more Suede studio albums on this channel soon, but that's the Blue Hour. We stick with Suede, and we've got a mail opening, so any big Suede fans out there who can maybe guess what I've never shown on the channel before, what isn't a studio album, but what could be in here. There's 2 albums in here, and these 2, compared to the studio albums, they're not exactly essential. The majority of artists, I'm a completist. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say where these were from. These are from Relevant Records and Cafe in Cambridge. I actually use their Discogs page, but I'm crediting on screen in a moment it being a Relevant website pickup rather than it being a general Discogs pickup. I did something similar last Records Roundup with another company, but for some reason one of these wasn't on their website, but they had it on their Discogs listing. So whether the website needed updating, probably. I said how much the Blue Hour was, didn't I? I said it was around £30, which was good for that particular edition. These 2 I think were around 25 each, give or take. Oh, I like the back of that. I'll show you that one second actually. So the first one, they've got the price, well this one's got a price sticker on of £27.99. So I think the second one I'll show you was probably only around 22 or 23. Anyway, this is Suede's Royal Albert Hall gig from 24th of March 2010. This one is a 3-disc set. It explains why it's pretty heavy. And there again, this has come out on standard black, but I managed to bag myself, I believe, if they sent me the right one. Yes, they have. The 180 gram clear vinyl edition. So the Royal Albert Hall gig, which I think was part of a series of concerts for Teenage Cancer Trust, was Suede's big comeback. It was meant to be a one-off, but then Brett Anderson and the lads decided that they would get back together permanently, and they've been together ever since. This was the kind of catalyst for the second coming of Suede. It's kind of like a greatest hits set, really. I don't think this is a full set either. There might be an edition of this, probably on CD, but there might even be like a extended vinyl box set, unless I'm thinking of, no, I might be thinking of something else actually. Forget I said that. Yeah, it looks like it's getting on for 20 tracks. I mean, it's split over 3 discs. I'm not going to open this because this one is clear vinyl, the same as the next one, and the next one I think might be a little bit easier to open, simply because that one is just 2 discs. But yeah, I do like a live album. I've got a couple of, is it 2 or is it 3 with this, or is it 2 now? I've got this, not 3. Suede live albums. No, it is definitely 2. I've got Live at the Roundhouse, which was a bit of a pricey one off eBay, and also Love and Poison. So yes, this is my 3rd Suede live album, and there is still another one that I've almost picked up recently. I won't say what it is because I'm hoping I will get it sooner rather than later and show it you myself. Another one for the Suede collection live subsection, the Royal Albert Hall 2010. And finally, also on clear vinyl, it's my first Suede compilation or greatest hits. I mean, I've got demos and B-side compilations and things like that, but this is like the, you know, the A-sides compilation. This is what I was on about earlier. I like the back of it with these cassettes showing the singles, or I think they are actually. It's quite nice. This one also on clear vinyl. There's a standard black edition. The price of this, as I say, I think this was around £23 at Relevant, and is a similar price, give or take, from elsewhere on the internet. But Relevant had the Royal Albert Hall at probably the best price I'd seen so I thought I'd add this to the order as well. So I'll get this one open for you. It's got, I think, all of Suede's singles, or the vast majority of them, from the Drowners, Metal Mickey, etc. in 92, 93, up till the singles that came off the Blue Hour album, which I showed you earlier. So this came out somewhere between the Blue Hour and Auto Fiction. Get one of these inners out. I do like that. It's got a rather matte feel to it, this inner, which is no bad thing, but I like that it's got old magazine covers and funny bits of merchandise. You can see some sort of dog tag necklace there, a deflated balloon. That's really cool, that. And there we go. Other discs will look the same, apart from the different information and things on the centre label. But there we go, proper clear vinyl there from Suede. I think most of the Suede I have on vinyl is actually clear. I think they've got some love for clear vinyl above all the other colours, but I do appreciate the grey, the blue, and I think that's about it really for them, colour wise. But anyway, got some brilliant stuff on here, some of my favourite Suede singles, and then some of their more recent second era Suede stuff that I'm not familiar with, but I will be once I've listened to the studio album, the Blue Hour, and of course everything on Beautiful Ones, the best of Suede. Love it.
My house tonight, we could be together in the nuclear sky. We will dance in the cars of rain. We could stay a while and too tired. Stay together. Let's stay these days around. Stay together. Two hearts under the sky, swing high to my arms tonight.
So thank you all for watching Records Roundup 44. I know it was very Suede heavy. Whether there'll be more Suede next time round, well, depends. As I say, there's one in particular I'm keeping my eye on, the one remaining live album that I need. And then there's still two other studio albums, one of which is a little bit pricey at the moment. I will endeavour to add them. You will see them on the channel at some point, but maybe not just yet, because I might try and wait and not buy them all at the same time, and then it'll be another quite samey edition of Records Roundup as this one. But nonetheless, I want to say special thanks as always to my wonderful subscribers and my generous patrons, of course. Please see my Patreon link, Facebook group link, referral link for HMV, and one for Urban Jungle Contents Insurance down in the description text box. I'm going to go now. Obviously got loads of Suede to listen to. It's almost been a Suede special, this, but I couldn't call it that as such because of the Lightning Seeds and Madness albums that I showed you at the start, and I can't wait to listen to them either. So I'm going to go and do that, one of them, and I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next Records Roundup and record collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!